So, this is going to be a quick overview of the personality types we'll be discussing within this episode. I wanted to take the moment to go over these explanations here before we get started so you can choose which characteristic that you feel you resonate with most as we talk about the social psychological elements of alpha, beta, delta, sigma, omega personalities. While each personality has their own general foundation, there are some small nuances that you will find between male and female personality types. So listen up, find out which one resonates with you so you'll be able to join in on the conversation. While this is going to be a very rudimentary explanation, it should give you at least a foundation of what you will see when you interact with these personality types and how they're represented by gender. An alpha male is one of the most recognizable types that we hear a lot of. Your alpha male is your dominating, charismatic born leader. When they walk into the room, people take notice. They're here to get the job done. They understand priorities and know what it takes to use their time wisely, use their skill source wisely, and they like that attention. When you're talking about it as a female, this female is typically charming, extremely intelligent, and seen as the rock star of her group. Very opinionated and also dominating and strong willed. These females are who you'll see running agencies, companies, and not taking no for an answer. Our next group are the betas. Beta males are typically modest, easygoing. They work a lot, but also can be overshadowed by their peers. They're extremely friendly. They like to complete tasks and get the job done and take pride in being the friendly one in the area. When it's a female, she's typically sensible, reliable, very trustworthy, caring, and supportive. So these are also individuals you definitely want on your team to balance out when you have alpha energy. Your gamma individuals typically are introverted and super sensitive. They might be the yes man in the office or in your peer group. They have big plans, but they lack determination and focus to make things happen. And when you're looking at it as a female, she tends to be goal oriented and intelligent, tactful and informative, but again, sometimes falls short in getting tasks completed, but always a clever individual to talk to when needed to discuss different concepts. Going to Omega, your Omegas are skillful and self sufficient. They really could care less what anybody thinks about them. They are typically super intelligent and often see it as the odd one in the group. They're laid back, and even though they have the intelligence, they really are not about chasing success, money, or women. They like how they have things set up. They know they're smart and know they don't need somebody's opinion of them to make them feel good. When you see this personality type expressed as a female, she typically tends to be skillful and straightforward. Some might even call her the nerd in the group. She's intelligent, but can come off as childish and messy at times, but also a great person to have on your team because of their straightforward and intelligent nature and not wanting or willing to fall into anybody's pigeonholed view of who they should be. Moving to deltas, as a male, a delta is modest and hardworking. They want attention, but sometimes they can't get the attention they need. So they work hard, but unable to meet the status of the alpha that's in the group. Again, great person to have on the team because they're so hardworking, but they don't really require the attention that the alpha just gets automatically when they're in the area. A delta female can typically be introverted and carefree. They like peace, they like quiet, they like relaxed environments, but they're very detailed. They like to get the job done. They're skilled and goal focused. Again, deltas, great person to have on your team. They are not going to make messy mistakes. And B, you give them a task, most likely they'll be completing it and completing it early. And then finally, we have sigmas. Your sigma is your super smart, extremely intelligent individual who walks in the room and gets attention. They're just like the alpha. However, the difference between an alpha and a sigma is their emotional ability to use that empathetic nature to read a room and use it to their ability. While some people might call that manipulation, their skill to be able to do this stands them apart from the alpha. Their empathy allows them to engage on an emotional level to get things done. Again, this person is proud, is charismatic, an extremely high achiever, still the CEOs, the leaders, the directors in group settings. They're opinionated, headstrong, and very unique. The term elusive comes to mind because a lot of people, while with the alpha, you know exactly what the alpha's thinking because they're going to tell you. A sigma might stand back in the shadows and kind of just read the room and not show their hand, right? So those are your personality types that we're going to be discussing on this episode. Hopefully, one of these stands out to you that you resonate with. We'll have additional information in the pod notes, but I wanted to give you a brief foundation so you will be able to resonate with at least one of them, if not more than one, so you can join in on the conversation. And to make it fun, try to guess what personality trait we have as you listen to the podcast. We will reveal the answer at the end.
Lift off and the clock has started. Roger, 0G, and I feel fine.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Relationships Through the Looking Glass. This is episode 9. So we are moving and grooving right along. Today, we're going to be talking about a topic that you hear somewhat a lot about, maybe a little bit. People always talk about the alpha man and the beta man and male and, you know, the red pill society and all this stuff that's going on right now. We are not really going to be focusing on that. We're going to be focusing on the whole group. So we're talking about alpha, beta, gamma, omega, delta, sigma. We're not talking about Greek life, though. Personality types and how they play a role in compatibility in relationships, or if they even play a role at all. And that's kind of what we're going to be sitting with to find out, A, is it important to know this stuff? B, what does it matter? And if it matters at all. So the guest that we have today, I've known for over 2 decades. Like, that's crazy. Like, some of the people listening, I've known him longer than you've been even alive. He knows me better than almost everybody in my whole entire life, maybe second to my brother. So if anybody's going to be able to identify some of these characteristics in my personality, it would be him. However, if I don't agree with it, I'll just say he's wrong, and we'll move from there. So I'm going to hand over the mic to Raphael. He's our special guest today. So I'm going to allow you to, that's funny, I said allow. I'm going to let you.
I caught that.
The nature of our relationship. I'm going to let you, that doesn't sound that much better, introduce yourself to everybody. So go ahead.
Hello, everyone. As she said, we are going on what? 21 years.
Yeah. Oof.
Yeah, so it's deep. It's a lot there. I mean, even after we both left the Air Force, we stayed in touch here and there, and a lot of stuff has happened. But this is definitely deeper than just like a friendship that just kind of faded over time or whatnot. Like, I definitely consider you family.
Well, I would hope so. Like, because it's me. It's me. So, and our co-host today is Nicole. So, and I know Nicole is probably so sick of saying, all right, Michelle, I got to do this all over again. But go ahead, Nicole. Tell them how wonderful you are.
I actually enjoy it. Hello, everyone. I'm Nicole. I'm an emotional intelligence coach. I help people with communication and understanding and speaking in a way that you can get, it will be productive as opposed to non-productive communication. And that's it.
Yeah, she also calls me out on a lot of stuff. And I've learned so much about vulnerability. I'm plugging the previous podcast because, yeah, like, I'm still processing that whole episode. So this one's going to be a little lighter than that one. And we're going to go into these personality types. So first, before we jump in, I kind of want to just give an overview of each personality type in a very small rudimentary explanation, right? So you have your alphas, and that's your leaders, right? The ones who don't take any stuff from anybody and all this like type of stuff. I have no idea what that meant, but everybody should know what alpha means at this point in their life. If not, you'll learn on this podcast. We have our betas. These are typically our followers, right? These are the individuals who are a little bit more, well, a lot bit more submissive. And those are the two personality types that a lot of people will either know or at least have heard, right? Your alpha and your beta. Now, the other personality types are gamma, omega, delta, and sigma. And I know there's a lot of people listening and think we're talking about like Greek life, but we're really not. So with your gamma, and then the genders do play a role in how this personality type presents itself. So I'm just going to give an basic overview where your gamma male, might have big plans, but he most often fails because of lack of determination and persistence. So it's kind of like your gamma guy is like, I want to do all this stuff, but I can't get the stuff done because I don't have consistency in my life or I lack the determination to make it happen. Okay. You have your omegas, your omega individuals. These are kind of like the person who is the opposite of your alpha. He's the odd man out or lady out. The guy, he really isn't about success, money, or woman. He kind of just doesn't care. That's your omega. And I know there's probably some omega sci-fis who might be listening to this. I didn't make this up. Okay? So it's not me. This is what it says in the literature. But omegas apparently just don't really care. They're just here living their life and they're fine with that. Then you have your deltas. These are your super duper independent guys who really could care less about a relationship. If a relationship comes into their life, they're cool with it. If not, they don't care. I really wish LaShawn was on here because like he is like definition delta. And then you have your sigma. He or she is an alpha but with feelings, which is funny. So this is your personality who is a leader, who goes and goes out and gets stuff done, doesn't really care what anybody else thinks, but they don't make moves unless they have a feeling about something or they are really just somebody who is focused on how they can better themselves and better the world around them, but in a way that isn't as aggressive as the alpha. So there are some train of thoughts where the alpha and the sigma are kind of co-located on the diamond or the triangle of the psychosociological, yeah, that's a long word, personality type graph. But sigma is its own experience on itself, right? So those are your personality types. And obviously there's going to be a lot more to each group and I will have links so you can learn more about each group in the pod notes. But today we're going to kind of go into the fact of a lot of people, especially lately, have put a lot of emphasis on these characteristics. Again, alpha being the main one that people talk about. So I'm going to throw it first to Raphael. How much
Here we go.
faith do you have in these categories? Like when somebody says, I'm an alpha male or I'm a beta male. I'm joking. If you're a beta male, I'm joking. I'm sorry. That was not nice. But how much faith do you have in these categories? Like when somebody says that and they take pride in those titles, like what do you say? What say ye about this?
Actually, I'm glad you started with that question because if you ever meet a dude that just loudly states he's an alpha male and starts beating his chest, walk away, please. Like, and never talk to that person again.
Can I take
Fact.
pictures though?
I totally agree.
Like, never, because my thing is like certain things are probably said or done for the reaction, or like they wear that like it's some kind of status symbol. Like, and even like when we talked before and I started looking over the personality types, I don't think many people fit neatly into one. Like, because even myself, I think I kind of spill over into maybe each category depending on the situation. But
'Cause I've seen you in alpha male mode.
but
How
but see,
how
that's
many
the thing though.
fights have
Like,
I had to talk you down from? I'm just
but
saying.
no, I think that now it's become a thing where that title itself is almost like a thing where some men think that they can scream that and it backs other men down or it attracts females, or like like I said, they wear it like a badge of honor. And I don't really think that anybody that just screams that and wants you to feel that that's what they are. I don't think that that's their true personality.
Okay. All right. I hear
So,
you.
like I said, if you meet, especially if that's your initial interaction with a person, and I'm speaking on men, like if that's the way he's coming across, and anybody that just comes out and says that, like, yeah, walk away.
All right, ladies, you heard him. Raphael says, walk away. Walk
Yeah,
away.
no dude that's really confident in who they are and
Needs
what
to
they're
tell
capable
you.
of. Like they don't have to scream that. Like it's one of those the loudest person in the room type things. Like you really are. Is that what you really are?
Right. Your actions speak for you. Like, I don't have to
Exactly.
say anything. I just do, and people already know. I'm joking. I'm joking. That sounded so cocky. Nicole. So, how about you? What is your viewpoint on, individuals who really put a lot of emphasis on these categories?
I completely agree with Raphael. Like all the truly alpha males and females that I've met are like I can point them out before they have to say what they are. So like their
Right.
actions, their behaviors, their words, just how they carry themselves. And to me, alpha is not the epitome of like what we want to be or the goal or whatever. I think all of these types, if you will, hold a place, an important place in society. So we need all of these types to actually move society forward. So when somebody's portraying I'm alpha, then I roll and keep it pushing.
You're right. You're right. And that's also what I saw too. Like, even though I was making a little smart ass joke about betas, you have to have the betas, because the betas are the friendly ones. Betas are the ones who are like, you know what, whatever you need, I'm here to help. They're reserved. They can be a bit submissive, but you need those players on your team. You can't have a whole team of alphas, and it just won't work. And I remember an ex of mine used to tell me, we can't have two men in the relationship, being making a joke that I was too masculine. That's a whole nother topic for another podcast. So there has to be people who fit in these roles in different places. And I'm glad you guys both brought up the fact that, you really don't have to announce who you are. Your actions and how you interact with the world and maneuver is going to determine who you are, right? So when we talk about society putting a lot of weight on these, because you'll hear people who very proudly say, I'm an alpha male, I'm an alpha female. And that's not necessarily a really good thing. Sometimes, I know me personally, I really don't want somebody who's in alpha mode all the time. Like, I have a lot of alpha traits, but I don't consider myself an alpha person at all. So I think there comes a time where there's going to be some conflict, right? It's a situation of, yeah, it's a good thing to know somebody's personality type traits, the majority of them, because, like Raphael said, different circumstances will bring out different personality. And, but there's going to be like a common one or a foundational one. And sometimes you might butt heads, right? I can't see two alpha individuals together all the time. So my next question would be, as a society, do we put too much weight on these topics? Like, we have freaking coaching programs and therapeutic programs that focus on these titles, but like you both just said, it's not necessarily something that is a hard fact for everybody's personality. So do you think society puts too much weight on them? Or if they are even valid, do you think they're valid? And I'm gonna go to Raphael. Like, do you think these titles are even valid or useful?
Personally, no, but and you have to consider the fact that like my view on a lot of stuff is gonna be a little bit different than most people because I avoid social interaction. I avoid like a lot of stuff that would even put me in places with people where I need to judge their personality or they need to judge mine just because I'm just kind of standoffish when it comes to people, period.
You're
Um,
standoffish. Okay.
Imagine that.
Maybe that's why we're such good friends.
Yeah, but no,
Yeah, that's how y'all got 20 years right there.
That's
yeah, exactly.
right.
But
We
no,
don't talk to each other.
no. But what it was, I think we found commonalities in the people we didn't like. So
That is true. That is
yeah.
true.
So, but no, like I really, I don't know how useful it is because, like I said, a lot of stuff is situational. So, like if you're just one way in every scenario, like that's strange to me. Like you should be
But
able
what
to
about
adapt to different situations and not approach it from, oh, I'm an alpha male, I'm a beta male, I'm this that, so I have to react this way. So like I said, I judge a person based on their response to a situation, and it has nothing to do with
very
whatever personality type someone might want to place on them.
right? So do you think that it's useful though? I
No,
mean, in
that's what
some
I'm saying.
settings.
I really I don't, because like I said, I'm looking deep, and like I said, with me having the limited interaction I do by choice,
Stop
like
saying that.
you know what I'm saying? But like the people that I deal with, it's because I've watched them in different situations, and I see how and they're not trying to live up to a title or fit in the category. Like they're doing it sincerely, like they're genuine in the things that they do. So like anybody that is just so rigid and trying to come across like, oh, I'm this, so I have to react this way in every situation, we're not really gonna mesh. So that's not someone I'm gonna deal with.
Got you. Got you. And how about you, Nicole? Do you think society puts too much weight on these titles, or even if they're valid to even use?
Now I feel like the oddball of the podcast because I do socialize and I do like being around
Stop.
people.
And that's I'm sorry, because Keisha's the other extrovert, right? Out
Oh,
of our us three, I'm the intro, and you
it's
two
a
are the extro,
setup.
and she bailed on you. So I'm sorry.
So, so I do think that society puts too much weight on it because they don't allow for adjustments of situations. So it's, if you claim to be alpha, then you're going to be an alpha in all situations. And when I'm relating with people, I more so look to the adaptability. Like, if we've been in a car wreck, can you allow your alpha self to take over? After the accident, can you allow your beta to take over so that way you can console me, um, and so on and so forth. Like different situations cause for different personalities. So when society is saying you are this one type and you have to hold strong for that one specific type, it makes me a little uncomfortable. And that's truly not how we all can maneuver in every situation as a particular personality type. So they do add, they do put too much on it. And I do think that some of the personality types are valid. And how I use them is relating with people. Like, oh,
Right.
if I were to explain somebody's personality, like, they're a little beta or they're kind of alpha. But like I said, in different situations, I need those different personality types to step up
Right. Right.
or have a seat.
And I know for uh, I don't think society puts too much weight on them. I think people find something that they can be labeled as, and it's like, oh, I'm definitely gonna find more guys claiming alpha than beta, right? Because beta is the more submissive one. And then you have the other personality types that people have no idea who the hell they are. So you don't see somebody walking around like I'm delta, like I'm gamma. Like what the hell is that? But what I will say is being somebody who uh, I agree that not everybody has the same characteristics all the time, but I do feel that there's a default that people fall to, right? So I might be the uncommon opinion on right here, but
That makes sense.
yeah, I feel that there's a default that people fall to, and I'm gonna save this for the end because that's when we kind of type each other. Because I feel I default to one particular one, even though I can be a different one during the circumstances. Like my marriage, my ex husband defaulted to beta, but that worked in a sense of I was operating in an alpha energy. Now, obviously, that did not work out. But what I will say is if you had two beta people who were both submissive, both not really putting effort into something, you're not going to get anything done. And it kind of goes into that whole masculine feminine energy, right? Like, and I'm not going to really go too far to the left where that's concerned, but having an idea of who you're dealing with. Like right now in my life, my partner, I would not be comfortable with a beta dominant male as my partner. But I also wouldn't be comfortable as an alpha dominant male as my partner. Um, for I have my reasons. So I think it gives some validity when it comes to somebody's default mode. You know how people say, when you're stressed, you default back to what you know. And if you are just a leader by nature, because I tell people all the time, I personally don't think you learn leadership. I think you're either a leader or you're not. I feel you can learn management, you can learn supervising skills and everything else, but I can't teach you how to be a leader. And that's my personal opinion. So I don't need anybody emailing me and blah, blah. Look, if you went and got certified in being a leader, good on you. My personal opinion is you're either it or you're not. And everybody has a space on the team. And like Nicole was saying, everybody's needed. So you can't just have a whole team of alphas because honestly, you won't get anything done either because everybody's going to have their own opinion and they want their opinion heard and met. So when it comes to teamwork, when it comes to relationship building in that accord, I think it's important. But I also do feel that society puts too much weight on it, as in, I'm labeled an alpha, so I'm better than you. But so I kind of hinted to that already about some good points of having an awareness. But I know, Raphael, you don't seem like you're too on board with it all. Do you think there are any good points when it comes to this when you're talking about building a relationship or even just being, going through the whole dating scene and attracting individuals? Like, do you feel that having an awareness of these types can be helpful in that regard?
No, definitely. And my thing is, like I said, I don't feel like we just fit into one box. Like there needs to be some allowance for, you know, being able to adapt to situations and moving between these personalities. But whatever you default to or whatever is your like the majority of the way that you react to certain situations is going to definitely affect your relationships because like for me, like you were talking about your default before, mine was lashing out anger in it, and if that's considered alpha or whatever,
What?
like I was more confrontational, and even in my personal relationships, and not in a physical violence way. It was not like I love debating, arguing, whatever, because I want it to be right, and I want to show you that I was right. But now, like I'm not arguing with anybody. I withdraw and just let you talk. And to me, that's not being submissive because I feel like I'm taking control of the situation because now you don't have anybody to argue with. So
Okay. Hmm.
yeah, so I mean, it's you definitely have to be aware of your partner's personality and how they deal with situations. And some people just aren't compatible. Some personalities aren't compatible, so it does play a part in that. Yeah.
That's funny. You said you don't
That,
argue anymore? I'm sorry. I'm stuck on that part.
No, I'm not. I don't have the
I,
Michelle. You know me.
I'm
Come,
just saying. That's what I'm
you,
saying. That's what I'm
you
saying.
know.
I'm like,
but
No, but
to me, the fact that you say I take control by having a seat, by being quiet, to me, that's an alpha trait. That's what alphas do. Like, okay, you're gonna argue on your own. That's alpha right there.
Yeah,
To
and but no, like, and I think that came with age and being put in situations where that argument or that confrontation could have taken a wrong turn and had severe consequences. Like I had to learn that, and like I said, some people might look at it as being submissive, but to me, it's just like I'm not even entertaining this. I'm not engaging with this, and you do what you want with it. So, like because I've learned that you can't control other people. Like I can only control what I'm gonna do. So I don't even put energy into that other stuff
aw,
anymore.
he's grown up to be such a respectable young man. Look at
No, I
you.
just I just realized that I don't want to go to prison at this age. So
And I don't want you
it's
to go to prison because, like,
no. Yeah, no, I was nah. It's not worth it.
very good. How about you, Nicole? I don't know what the hell the question was at this
Me too.
point.
I'm all,
What? What is happening right now? No, do you think it's something that is a good thing though to have at least an awareness when you're talking about building a relationship and getting to know people?
absolutely. I think it's important to just have an awareness of it, but not to rest on that one particular type. Because I definitely have the capabilities of going up and down the gamut of the personalities. And again, it's depending on the situation and the people. But when we were talking about leadership, a lot of times in group settings, I would find myself being a leader, but not, I turn around and everybody's following me. That type of situation, like, whoa, I didn't come in like I'm the leader. I'm going to take everybody where we need to go. But it was more of like an irritation, like, hey, we're not moving. I can see what needs to progress us from point A to point B, and then now I'm the leader. So when I see that in other people, I can see the leadership in them, and I think that's what when it dwindles down to these personality types. That's why it's important. Like, okay, when I'm putting my team together, I need an alpha, I need a beta, and then it helps me when putting teams together in a work environment or a friend group or whatever, really.
Absolutely. And that's I'm glad that you brought that up too because like we said, there's a default. People default to to a certain group of characteristics that have been labeled. So and you can't really get stuff done like if you have a whole team of betas. It's nothing wrong with that, but if you really are trying to do some hard charging, no one's really going to take initiative to get things done, right? And how it translates or transitions into relationships. If you're dealing with a male who's delta, like who relationship just isn't on the forefront of their mind, and you're trying to get them that way, you're not going to be successful because that's just not what they could care less. So I definitely think it has a role when building relationships, but at the same time, we have to understand that people change due to circumstances. And one thing I'll note too, and I was talking to one of my coworkers probably last week. When you have a group of military people who were prior service together, and they are now civilians, but they all were prior service, you can tell who was the ranking leader in the group because they all everybody automatically falls into a role, and it's weird. I don't know, Raphael, if you can speak to that. I've seen it so many times to where if you have prior service people together and they got to do something or they got to build something, even though we're no longer active, everybody falls into a role and somebody takes up the leadership position without even having it to be identified, and then come to find out they were the ranking one when they were in. Have you noticed that, Raphael?
Oh, definitely, because most of the people that I deal with, um, I was stationed with at some point, and like even when we're just hanging out or whatnot, like you can just tell by their personality who probably achieved the highest rank or whatnot. Just like even when we're joking around and just having that kind of interaction. So I can see that on some scale, but usually like in if I'm out and about or in my previous work environments and stuff like that, I was usually the only veteran there. But just with my group of friends and stuff, I can see it.
Yeah, it's like it's so interesting to watch that. And again, I think it goes into where there's sometimes, in the military you're kind of forced into certain leadership roles, but you can still have crappy leaders. Like Lord knows, we've seen some. And just because you have a certain statue or position does not make you a leader. So that I feel that's where your alphas come in. That's where your sigmas come in, right? I'm looking at the um the groups that kind of are fall into a leader. Omegas driven and intelligent. So everybody kind of falls into a category by default, but circumstances change and you have to adjust. And I know, like for me, I'll use Raphael as an example. Both of us are very strong willed individuals, but I know at the end of the day, like both of us can't be driving the boat. So in certain circumstances, not all. in certain circumstances, I'll fall back and be like, all right, you can handle it. And when we were in, he outranked me barely, but he did. So that gave him some
Don't act like I didn't catch the shot. I caught that. I caught that.
that gave him some power in that regard. But we were kind of like the Wonder Twins. Like when we deployed and everything else, we were always together. But there wasn't always, even beyond the fact that he outranked me, there was always just an understanding that he's got it. You know what I'm saying? So did that make
but
him
but you know,
alpha? Nah.
but you got to realize, and then even going back to like our military experience, I think that when you have people like the two of us, we didn't like fall back or rely on our rank to like
Yeah, that's true.
showcase who we were. Like either we did a good job or we didn't, and it had nothing to do with rank. So like even like you said, I slightly outranked you or whatnot. I would come to you for stuff before I would go to somebody that outranked me because a lot of times like they didn't know what the hell they were talking about.
Right. You're
Like so,
right.
and that was another thing. Like that was an issue for me while I was in the military or whatnot. It's like, okay, I can respect the rank, but I don't respect the person. And like I never wanted anyone to respect me because of the rank that I had. Like if you felt like I was a trash individual, like let's talk about that. Like don't talk around it because you're trying to respect the rank. And that's just something I'm never gonna do that. Like even in a
Like
corporate
somebody to
environment,
really
and
come
that's
up to
why,
you
yeah, that's
and
why I
put
stepped away
something
from
through to
like
be like you're trash.
no, I just like I realize I can't work with or around people like, and I put myself in a position to do my own thing because I'm not gonna sugarcoat certain things. Like I'm not gonna stroke your ego and do all of that because of the position you hold. Because to me, your work isn't your worth. Like you got to prove to me that you deserve to be respected. Like I just don't give like I'm gonna respect you as a human, of course. Like I'm not just gonna come in and just walk all over you. But once you start showing me things that I don't respect or things that kind of turn me off, that's gonna push me away from you, and I can't hide that.
Right. So that would tell me right there that your default most likely is not beta. Just
Maybe not.
I have my guess. I will give save it to the end. But go
No,
into what
but
no.
my thing is like, and like I said, I've fallen back to where I pick and choose my battles now. Like I'm not even gonna like I don't even the arguing and the confrontation and stuff is tiring, man. And then if I know that you really don't bring any value to my life or it's not worth it, I'm not gonna give you that time and that energy to argue with you. Like
Oh, so that's why you ghosted out all those years? That I see. I see now. I see.
no, that
Are you
that's
telling on yourself?
no, that's because I'm a trash friend. like
There it is. And honest. And honest.
yeah,
Another
I,
awesome
I
trait,
mean,
owning it, accountability.
no, hey, everything I do that I'm responsible for, like I'll be the first to claim it, man. Like I I have trouble nurturing friendships. I really do. Like, but if you need something, if we haven't spoken in years, you can reach out to me, and I'm gonna try to do it for you. But like the checking in and this, because I hate small talk and this, like yeah, I don't know.
And you see, Nicole, that's why we're such good friends. It's like we were mirrors. We would have jokes where one of us would be up, the other would be down. We had a seesaw going. So when one came to work, if one was in the good mood, we knew the other person was going to have a shit day.
Mm.
We just balanced each other out. But yeah, but just those examples alone, and I know we were using the military. Nicole was using civilian team building. That's important because everybody does have a default, and you really need to know this. But how it translate into relationships as well, like do you feel, and this question is for you, Nicole, do you feel that once you get into a relationship or you're getting to know somebody and you start to see, okay, I don't really want a submissive dude, is that something that is open for discussion to talk about? Or is it something to be like, let's use an example like the blue shirt example you like to use, and you're like, I don't really like dudes who wear blue shirts. He has a blue shirt, so I'm not gonna vibe with him. Is it kind of the same thing? You don't really want a submissive dude, but then you kind of find you're dating a beta dominant guy. Is that the same thing, or is there a workaround with that?
So specifically for me, I am not afraid of confrontation because to me, the way I look at it is not negative confrontation. We need confrontation to get to the other side for a better relationship. We need to come together to say, hey, when you wear that blue shirt on Thursdays, it kind of bothers me. So could you not? And then we come to some type of compromise and then we move forward. So if I can see that this person does not like confrontation to the point that they're just going to avoid it altogether, that it prevents our relationship from progressing. Yes, it turns into something that I can't work with because I know that I will, talk to you about whatever I am or am not feeling, and you are not. How are we moving forward relating together? And that can be, again, in a relationship and work, family, whatever. So, when I'm picking my partner, if I see that you don't have the ability to work through conflict, yeah, I can't. That would be definitely a no. But when you draw that down to a specific one of these personality types, like beta, which I don't think I would
I
say,
feel
ooh,
bad. I feel like we're just coming for betas. I feel
no.
bad. We're not coming for the betas. It's just an example.
Well, I do feel like betas have the ability to say what they want. So, like, I could be with a beta if you could say what you want. You know what I mean? Okay, but
Hmm.
I just don't want to be the leader at all times, especially in a relationship with a man. I would work to go ahead and fall back so my man can lead the relationship. I
Right,
don't
right.
want to be in the alpha role all of the time.
It's
So,
exhausting.
hmm
It's exhausting.
it
So then
is.
that's another question too. So when say we're okay, I'm not gonna poke on the beta male right now. I'm going to the alpha female. So say we look at alpha female because a lot of the alpha traits are masculine type traits. So do we look at an alpha female as somebody undesirable because we know the word on the street right now is masculine females? No one wants to deal with that. So is there a crossover where that's concerned, where we're talking about a beta male and an alpha female? Like, is that a balancing out? And if you're operating as a female in a masculine energy all the time, that gets exhausting. Or Nicole, you just said that. So that's something to think about too, because if it changes, and it does, because I'm an example.
Me too.
The time in my life when I got married, I was not the same person I am today. That's why I would not be a good match for somebody who's more beta dominant. I just wouldn't. But I have an awareness of that now. You know what I'm saying? So it's also having an awareness of what you are capable of dealing with, like the example you just gave, Nicole. So, but here's a twist to this though, because even though there's different personality types, even right now on this episode, we have the extrovert and introvert dynamic. And that's a whole different scope of challenges, right? Because I know I've been in a relationship with an introvert and I've been in a relationship with an extrovert, and I kind of like the extrovert relationship better. So if the introvert happens to listen, sorry, but you know what you did. So
Burn.
More
such an
shots.
asshole right now. You know what you did. But at first, I felt being in the relationship with an introvert was cool because we didn't want to go any place. We didn't want to talk to other people. We would be around each other for hours. We didn't have to speak. We would read books. Like, it was cool. And I didn't really think about even engaging with an extrovert because I'm like, oh, he's gonna want to go places all the time. He won't shut the hell up and this, that, and the other. But then once I experienced that, I was like, oh, well, this is different, and I liked it. So, is there an opportunity to for change if given the circumstance? Right, we might not want to deal with somebody just because you never experienced it before, but just in that example. And granted, I'm making jokes. There are other reasons why the relationships didn't work out, and it had to do with the fact one was an introvert and one was an extrovert, because neither one of them are active relationships right now. So obviously there's other stuff that go into play when you're talking about a relationship, but I definitely believe that that is also a dynamic that we have to think about. So I'm gonna throw that to Raphael, being that I don't know, dude. I don't. I think you might. I don't know. I've seen you in extrovert and introvert role. Usually, when you're drunk, you're the extrovert. I mean, you might not be
No,
that now.
we just gonna throw the D word out there, huh? Wow.
What's the air horn?
That's the part of the pod we at right now. Okay, let's hit it then.
Doing
I've
all the
seen you in
sports.
both energies, but what would your response be to that? Like when you're talking about an
Hold up,
introvert and extrovert?
I'm so offended. I don't
I,
even remember what the question was.
Is this the part where you say edit?
No, not yet, but we're getting there.
I'm sorry. I have flashbacks. No, so I was saying,
Because I'm thinking back on like just
okay,
moments in my
look,
life, like okay, what could she be talking about?
so many, so many,
The blackout part? Or
so,
Yeah, but I don't remember too many of them, so you might be right.
woo, so many examples.
might be
But when
accurate.
you,
Uh-oh.
But no, what was the question again?
oh my God, so
That was like the drive-by roasting. You're like,
he's used to it. He's so used to it. So when you have an introvert and an extrovert dynamic in a relationship, because there's some challenges there. Like my extroverted friends, God love them, they have to deal with crap that I do that they don't understand, right? Like she can go for days and be by herself and she's cool with that. And then for an extrovert, I look at them and I'm like, you actually want to be around people all the time? Like that is weird to me. So
But
there's a
like for
dynamic of
me,
understanding each other, right?
like everyone that I associate with, my wife included, they're more extroverted than me. Um, they have their moments when they don't want to be bothered, they don't want to be around people, but they want to socialize at certain point. Like I get invited to stuff, or like, hey, let's go hang out here. Like I don't do that. Like I just want to be home. And my wife, she's cool with it to a certain extent, but there's times when she wants to go out or whatnot, and we have to find that balance, and I'm working on that for her because to me it's important that I don't just lean on what I want all the time because that's not fair to her. So I think you can have people, whether it be friends or intimate relationships, whatever the case may be, you can have an introvert and extrovert, but you have to find that balance because there's gonna be certain times when I don't want to go out or I don't want to go socialize with our friends or go to this party, this, that, and the other. And, you know, and there may be no good reasons. It's just I don't want to do it at that moment. But
Right.
then at the same time, like, I also tell myself that, okay, we do need to get out sometimes. I do need to step onto the other side and, kind of have that balance in life.
And honestly, I mean, you're an introvert, and I love you, and you're a really good friend. But a lot, my other friends are more extroverted, and actually, out of the grand scheme of things, the extrovert relationship was my best, and it was because it was a balancing out. Because there was, but there has to be an understanding, like you said, with your example between the two. Like he would watch my moves when we would go out. He would watch me and he knew when it was time to go because he would be reading my nonverbals, and he would look at me and he's like, "You're ready, aren't you?" And I'm like, "Yep." And now we go, and it was a balancing. Like I'm gonna go do this because it's important to you, and to repay that, he would watch me and knew when my social media meter was down. All right, let's roll. So there's an understanding and balance with that, but there also has to be a unique connection too, because not everybody can do that. Not everybody can read somebody to the point where they're like, I understand what your size mean. I understand when
No,
you fall
definitely.
back,
Yeah.
it's time to go. And him understanding I'm putting myself out there, even though this is uncomfortable for me, I know it's important to you. So there, that element of, because I don't want people listening to think, oh, I'm an introvert, I need to go find me an extrovert person. I'm not saying that it might not work out. I'm just saying it was a balance, and I'm not saying introverts are not a good thing. Nicole can talk to the extrovert life because I know nothing about it, but I just know for me personally, if I had to choose between the two, the the most I've ever felt seen was with the extrovert. So I do think introvert extrovert stuff is important because it is such a different personality. Like we get our energy from being alone, while an extrovert gets theirs from being with people. And I'm not going to speak anymore about extroverts because I'm not one, so I'm going to hand it to Nicole. But what would be your experience, Nicole, when it comes to extrovert, extrovert, or extrovert introvert relationships? And do you have any examples about that?
I I think it's more again about the awareness and balance. So as an extrovert, I just became aware of like, oh, this is an introvert, like realizing that this person has this type of personality. And I have related with multiple introverts, unaware that they were introverts. Like, oh, whoops. So I was not aware of it. Now that I'm aware of it, I know, if I say, hey, come on, let's go do something, because I'm that extrovert that likes to go and do things. And they say no, I don't take it one personal, and two, like I need to fight harder for this introvert to come and hang out. It's just not their thing, and I'm okay with that.
Right. And even in the dating scene, like we've had conversations where stuff for you seems like it's exciting and it's new, where when I hear these ideas and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I don't have the time or energy to even engage in dating because I don't care, right? It's like
Mhm.
I don't want
Right.
to talk to multiple people. I don't want to go out on multiple dates, and it can be a challenge in that regard. So I definitely
Absolutely.
wanted to say something about the intro extro dynamic because
Well,
it's
I was going to say, as an extrovert, I am more about the experience. I like to experience this meal, or experience going to the mountains, or experience, and I can experience sitting in the house all day reading books, that's cool. But for long periods of time, like, we are re-experiencing the exact same thing, and that's where it's like, can we try something else? Can we,
right, right.
so if I can find an introvert that is open to occasionally a new experience, then yes, that will work. But just doing the same thing over and over and over and over is,
No, but
yeah, yeah, like, what?
I know it's making this sound so bad. No, but you're absolutely right, and I think it's a situation of finding that balance because I'm an introvert, but with the right people, I'm freaking wildin'. Like, and I'm pretty sure I have Raphael could probably co-sign. Like, I when I'm with the right people, people will be like, "You're really an introvert?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I am. I just have to be the circumstance to allow me to be not introverted has to happen." But I do know the challenge with communication too, where when I was with the extrovert, he would make statements like, "You don't ever call me," like, and I didn't realize I didn't do it until he said something, and I was like, "Oh, I don't. I will text you to death," but talking on the phone for introverts, like, we don't like it. So I had to work on
Can you
that.
say that part again? Huh?
Are you being a what? Are you being a smartass?
No, no, I'm just I want you to repeat that again because I've caught like a lot of heat for my lack of
Oh no, no, that is
no,
no, no. You will not.
because the
No.
vibe that I'm getting is that you're one of those poser introverts,
Oh,
and as a true introvert, I'm
ooh,
taking it personally, but I just want you to repeat that last statement.
The
The
drive
floor is
Raphael.
yours.
they're
Raphael
just
sucks.
coming. You
That
got to keep
statement.
your head on a swivel, man. They coming from all angles.
Right, boy. I just have to be around the right people, sir. So, yeah, so that was something I had to learn. I'm like, oh, this individual needs calls, and then I also started to research it, and it was like, wow, okay, extroverts get their energy from being around people, and that drains me. But an extrovert, like you said, Nicole, doing the same thing over and over again, and da 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 da, that drains you all. So it's kind of like understanding your partner and then making adjustments. Now, do you feel it's easier to make adjustments with an extrovert introvert dynamic versus the alpha, beta, gamma, yada yada yada? Do you, because you're gonna find introverted alphas, right? you're gonna find extroverted betas. And that even adds a whole nother layer to what we're talking about. Because now it's like I have an extroverted alpha who's talking, won't shut up. Or I have an introverted alpha who you can't really tell what they're thinking, but they're getting stuff done. So it's humans are complicated.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're complicated. So now we're going to talk about what type do we feel we all fall into. So we already identified who the introverts are, and even though Raphael called me a fake introvert, and you better be glad you're not in my face, I would
I
show
mean,
you
I
how
was just,
introverted I
throwing that out
am.
there just in case. I mean,
See what
Just
sticks on the wall.
yeah, I mean, I definitely wouldn't speak definitively about that. I mean, I'm just saying it's coming across that way.
whatever. Look, I don't even. Anyway, I don't forgot what the question was. No, so okay, what category would you feel would be your dominant? We're not talking about introvert extroverts because we already know who was who on the call. What dominant as out of the alpha, beta, yada 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 would you feel is your dominant?
Uh,
Nope, that's not it. I'm joking. Go ahead.
hold on, because I just kind of I'm
I
looking at
already
these.
got my answer. I already got my answer
Okay,
for
so
you.
you tell me because I've been looking at these for the last couple of days, and it's just like, hold on, I think it was Omega that I felt like I related to the most, but hold on, self assured,
I was gonna
driven,
go with Omega. So
intelligent, diversified interests.
I was gonna go with Omega.
Yeah, to me that, and I hate speaking on like myself, like what am I? But like the whole alpha male thing, because like I said, there are times when I would probably have a more dominant alpha personality, but like just from the way it reads, it's like no, I'm not gonna walk into any room and try to be the center of attention or exude confidence
Unless he's
because
drunk.
s- look, we can bring up the past all day long. My thing is let's focus on the growth, acknowledge the
Focus on
growth.
the growth. You're right.
Yeah,
You did return
yeah,
the text message, so we're getting somewhere.
yeah. Like, that's what I'm saying. I mean, the better me. Let's acknowledge the better me.
But the old one was funny. It was
No, the
so
old
funny.
one, the old one, he put me on a path where I probably shouldn't be here. So we're not revisiting that one.
Okay. You're
Yeah,
true. You're right. You're right.
yeah, yeah. No, let's. I mean, but no, the old one, he did bring us some good laughs. I miss that
Oh
guy.
my goodness. Some good laughs.
But
And
no.
you know what? And he also had my back. I mean, I still think the new one does too. Like I can make a phone call if
Oh,
something
you
happened.
mean like how
Yeah, yeah. Let's not say it.
yeah, when
Yep.
I had to approach old
Yeah.
boy in the club and
Yeah.
make him apologize. Yeah.
Good
See, that's
times.
yeah. But no, and that's my thing. Like for people that I really care about, man, like I'm going to protect them, and like I'm never gonna let anything happen to them that I wouldn't let happen to myself. So, like, but to me, like even in a situation like that, that wasn't about trying to establish some male dominance, being an alpha male or anything like that. It was like, okay, you told me dude made you uncomfortable, and he did something, and I wasn't really feeling him anyways on some other things that had happened. But the fact that he did something that no man should ever do to a woman to make her uncomfortable, and as close as I am to you, like, no, we're gonna address that.
He did. He was my knight in shining armor.
Yeah,
Tear.
no, we that's never gonna happen to anybody in my circle, and like, that was a small thing for me, and like I said, it wasn't, and me and him, we had a relationship somewhat, like we knew each other, and whatnot, and he wasn't expecting that, but my focus was on okay, he made you feel a certain way. It was wrong, and that wasn't the first time that I had heard about him doing something, similar to that. So now we had to address that.
In grand fashion. Yes, you did.
Yeah, so but
So yeah,
no,
we're going with Omega.
I think so. I mean, like I said, I don't think it applies to every situation, but just my baseline personality that would probably fit the most.
Yeah, it says he has laid back approach towards life. Is skillful, self sufficient. Yep. Doesn't know how to turn off notifications. That's cool. And Nicole.
That was me. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Raphael. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
My bad, my bad. What was the question?
So what do you feel you would identify with looking at the categories?
So I'm gonna go with gamma female.
Okay.
Gamma
Hold on, let me
female.
look. Let me look. Let me look at the
Want
I
me to
think
read
that's
them
what
off?
I picked for you too. Is that the organized one?
Yep. That says
Yep,
she's
that's it.
independent, organized, she's driven, she's confident.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you guys are doing amazing. As if I'm the category god here. Okay, okay, okay. What do you two feel I would? I think I already told both of y'all. Maybe, hopefully, I didn't. What do you two think I am? And I swear, if you say beta, I'm coming for both of you.
Which one covers asshole?
Oh yes, give it
Oh,
to
my
me.
mic was on. Damn, my fault. Hold on.
Gosh, I learned from the best, man.
Oh,
Which one? Which one? Come on.
wait.
I'm, for me, I'm probably going if the omega female is similar to the omega male, then
Don't be trying to put me
I'm
with you.
look.
I'm sorry.
Not that
I'm
I
sorry.
want you. Not that I want you there, but
Shut up. Everybody
but,
wants me on their
but no. But you
freaking
know what?
team.
All right, look. All right, I've been politically correct a little too long on this
Bring it. Ain't
podcast.
nobody
So,
scared.
all right, so you're very moody.
Who? Hold up.
So you are all over the board. Like you are all of these within a 30-minute time frame. You are every one of these personalities.
That can kick your ass. What?
But no, you are definitely you. I've seen you go through every mood on the scale in like a 15-minute span.
Oh, Raphael. Ooh, I'm gonna get you. Oh. Oh.
Uh,
I'm just
the record, I'm sipping tea. I'm out of this one. I'm out.
so it's really hard to pinpoint one for you, and then I can't speak to like what situations may have happened during the time that we haven't been in constant contact like that. So you may lean one way more than the other now. But the Michelle I know, yeah, you're all across the board.
When have I ever in your entire whole life of existence of knowing me been beta?
Hold on, because like I said, I don't like to speak in a definitive manner without the information. 1 second, please.
While he's
While he's
researching for an
researching,
answer he
I
won't find, Nicole.
I was going to put you in the same category as myself, as a gamma female. But I know we had conversations and you feel that you're something else.
And you feel I'm not organized. I'm organized in work for work as in what pays the bills, but home I'm a creative mind and there's no organization whatsoever. Like at my art studio or anything where my paints are and everything, there is no organization at all.
But,
Um,
but then so do you want to tell them what you are and then I'll say why I didn't select it?
the manipulative mastermind. So I felt, and Raphael, I swear, if you say something, I swear, I
I'm, I'm,
felt, I felt.
I'm gonna go ahead and turn my mic off and let you have it. All right.
You're such a freaking jerk.
Did you find
No,
it? Did you find the beta?
no,
Yep.
I
Oh,
did. Okay. So and we talked about this before. Like I think that just the term beta automatically it has a negative stigma.
unless
But
you're a fish, because they kick ass. But go
so
ahead.
like so the first thing in beta female, unreactive. I have seen you be unreactive in situations, and it's not because you don't have a spine to voice your opinion or anything like that.
I just
Like
don't
there are
care.
times when you get, or there were times when you got upset or you weren't feeling the situation and you withdrew,
I did.
and they
Ooh,
could ask you your opinion and you just sit there with the stale face like I don't care. Like
he
so,
does know you, Michelle. Where's the air
don't
horn? He's hit.
don't don't play with me. Like there wasn't that much drinking back in the day. I got a few
No, but
memories.
that wasn't me being submissive. That was I don't give a
No,
damn.
but that's what I'm saying. Like
Non-reactive.
Yeah, I just even on that, like I said, there was a reason why you were there. Michelle, how many times we sat in that briefing room and something pissed you off and you just like it was like you weren't even there.
I probably wasn't. My disassociation skills is bomb.
That's
I think both of us were zoned out the whole time we were in Saudi.
It's called
Like
survival.
we could have been working at McDonald's and it would have been the same. Like we didn't care. We was like, man, when we going home?
We literally did not care. So that
Yeah.
would
So
explain the circumstance, right? But would that be beta or would that be just I don't give a damn?
that's what I'm saying. Like I think that there are characteristics under each personality that can apply. Like I said, no. Do I think you're definitely because if you're faced with a situation where you're confronted by something or someone, you're not gonna let anybody walk over you. Like
Yeah.
you'll argue a point that you know you're wrong just so somebody don't get one up on you.
Shut up.
Hey, I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
And I have friends like you and Nicole who be like, you know you're wrong. And my brother, you know you're wrong. And then I'll be like, oh, okay, fine. Okay, I'll give you that. Shoot. But what I feel I related or resonated most with was Sigma because they have the traits of an alpha, driven, leader, getting stuff done. My phone agrees. But they do things with empathy. So they do things with an emotional aspect to it, and it's not. And then they're kind of standoffish in one thing I saw was elusive. People can't figure out where you're coming or where you're going. So, and then the term intimidated was thrown around a lot in that description, and I've been called that
Negro,
in
you're not intimidating.
to you. Shut up! I
I'm just
am
saying.
freaking
the
intimidated.
Oh, I keep forgetting my mic is on. I am so sorry.
Oh my god, I hate you. Oh,
You knew what you signed up for when you invited me here. So,
whatever. I'm not
y-
scared of you, sir.
yeah. Ain't nobody scared of you, man.
Ugh, Nicole.
I told you, I'm just sipping my tea. So the part
Okay, go
that
ahead
is,
and tell me why I'm not Sigma.
well, I mean, when you put it the way you eloquently just did, I would agree with that, with the elusive part and more alpha.
Too emotional to in toxic relationships. I
But
kind of
then,
got
but
freaking
well, this one
reward for
says
that
you
one.
get emotionally attached, and I'm like, attached to what? Like,
Yeah.
that's the only thing
Yeah.
I was like,
Nicole says I don't have emotion. What
well,
the hell? Is this
well,
Rose
you're the
Michelle
most
Day?
deleting this, blocking this. I don't know you as
I will delete
person that
and
I've
block.
ever met to where
Yes.
I'm like, good Lord. So we're not thinking about that. Oh, okay. Jeez.
Yeah. I'm a
You're
runner.
the
I
most
am.
disconnected. So I'm just like, no, like once you're done, there's like the ultimate disconnect. So that's where I was thinking, is that emotionally attached?
I
Yeah.
think that comes into the INFJ element though. That whole door slam. It's like I'll give and give and give until I just can't anymore. And it's like, okay, now you're literally dead. Like you are literally dead to me.
Well, that's not
And
emotionally attached, which is the only reason why I said Sigma. But all the other traits I agree with.
awesome. So Raphael said I'm freaking psychotic and have schizophrenic tendencies.
Is
Well,
that what I said?
touche.
It, it's, but hey,
Takes one to know
don't
one, sir.
no. But that's what I was about to say. Take no offense to that, man. Because look,
Oh,
this is
never
what.
from you.
No, not even for me. Like, believe
I'm
me,
your mirror. I'm your mirror. So
when I tell you the things that I've heard over the years about myself, I've just come to embrace it. Like I if I am that, then let me just accept that and work on being the best version of that. Like
no one does asshole like you.
huh? I don't even know how to take that statement. Like
Whoa, where are you going? I meant in characteristics. What
that
are you
that's
talking about?
that's not something I does. Like no.
I hate you right now.
No one does, asshole. Like, look,
Oh,
this is my introduction to your audience and stuff. Like, that's not the statement I want out there. Oh yeah, nobody does asshole like him.
Nobody. I think I'm gonna get
And
you a
next
shirt.
up, we've got Raphael back with us, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, no, yeah, they'll never invite me back. Look,
Y'all know you might get a whole nother set of fans.
I'm good.
What I
Like, oh,
heard
good, they have
was,
Raphael the asshole back. Okay.
But no, but you really gotta admit that, like, I think that that's part of what drew us to each other was the fact that, okay, he really don't give a shit about people's opinions the way I do, and it was just like, okay, everybody else around us is aggravating this shit,
right.
so let's just,
And people would leave us alone. When we were coupled in
yeah,
groups together, people would just leave us alone. Or it was a situation of if somebody was getting on our nerves, we knew the other one was going to be around somewhere, and we know they didn't want to deal with that.
yeah.
So,
I think didn't we pretty much like kind of get kicked to the side of the air team and like had our own little corner and they just let us do whatever?
yeah, they just left us alone.
Yeah, so
I think
nah,
that's some boss moves right there.
yeah, nah. Look, I'm not here for validation, acceptance. I'm not trying to assimilate with anybody and what they're doing. Like, just leave me the hell alone.
Right.
Yeah, like I
Please
don't.
and thank you.
Yeah, like I don't know. I realize that I lack empathy, and I'm okay with it. Like,
That's a lie. That is
no,
shut up.
no,
Stop.
okay.
Stop.
I'm talking about like
Stop.
for anything outside of what I honestly care about. Like anything
Okay.
else, man.
Okay.
Yeah, like no, like the what's close to me and what I do care about. Like I go hard with that
Yep.
to a
You
fault.
you took me to my mom's funeral, and
Yeah, and that
that
was the first
yeah,
funeral I ever went to.
that
And
was
at that
crazy.
point, I was what in my mid to late 20s. Had
Yep.
never been to a funeral.
Yep. That was crazy loyal, and
But
I'll
I
never
wasn't gonna
forget.
let you go through that on your own. Like, well, and not saying on your own because you had family there, but like no, like
But you know
and,
how
and
my
even
relationship is with my family, so yeah, on my own. So
yeah,
absolutely.
no, but no, but like when I get to that point with somebody like you and I are, and like and even the other people that I'm cool with, like you need something from me. If I can do it, I'm gonna do it.
Yep.
Like it's not even a question, and I'm not gonna question you about it. I don't need anything later on or whatnot because I would hope that you would do the same.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so
We rolling, we riding. So to get to the point where we wrap it up, we've identified delta, omega, sigma, because I do have emotion. Even though Nicole, even though Nicole's like
You
emotion,
do
what the
have
hell?
emotions, but you're not like, let me get attached to this.
Yeah,
hold on
yeah.
before we go any further. Nicole, how long have you known her?
About almost 5 years, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, all right. So you know the updated version of her then.
Shut up! What the
Oh,
hell
okay,
does that
okay,
mean?
Oh, okay, okay. Let me
okay. I was just one because I just wanted to see where you were coming from with your outlook on her. So okay, that
with
explains a little.
version. You were checking the version, Michelle 2.0 that I
Yeah,
got.
you
Yeah, he's seen a lot.
yeah you hit update now when that version came in, right?
He,
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, no. I never updated on our friendship, so I'm still running the old OS.
you know
And
what?
yeah, no.
Wow.
I know exactly how that one functions.
Okay,
But we'll save that though. So as you
that's
were
a
saying,
whole nother podcast. So, what we have come to understand though is there is some validity, there is some good points to having an awareness of these types and knowing kind of what your default is because it allows you to be more um, mm, it's a part of just learning yourself, personal growth. Like I know with my leadership like drive, I would not ever want to be in a position where I'm not the leader. Gosh, that sounds so cocky, doesn't it? But I just won't function well. Can I be a follower? I can, but that won't be my best self. My best self is always in a situation where I'm leader. That's why I have my own agency. That's why in most of my positions, almost all my positions have been leader. I think the only position that I wasn't or I did not come in as a leader was when I was in the service, and that's because you have to go through a rank structure. But I even made my way up there pretty quickly before I bounced. So I know for a fact if it's a position where I'm not going to be in the leading role or very close to it, it's not going to be my best version. So that's just an example of how these can help in that I know in this time in my life, I probably would not match well with a beta type of individual because I don't want to be an alpha when I come home. Like I might be a leader when I'm out working, but when I come home, I want to be able to fall back. So having that knowledge is helpful in work and also in building relationships. But I'm going to close out with your both of your opinions on how, if someone's listening to say, okay, well, how could I use this when I'm building a relationship or when I'm building teams within work or just anything? What would you tell them? So I'm gonna throw that to you, Nicole, and I'll have Raphael close us out.
Um, well, for me, let's see, I've been responsible for putting teams together work wise, and you definitely need, an alpha to lead the group. You need the beta to, especially if it's a male beta, it's so weird in these social situations. Women will always kind of fall behind the male first, even if they are beta. So you kind of need the beta to still help move the group forward. And you need the different types of personality, kind of like the word that keeps coming up in this podcast is balance. So the different personalities do balance each other out, and that kind of give and take of suggestion of ideas, taking the ideas, trying it out, um, being able to confront the idea that yes, that works, no, it doesn't, to talk about it, and then the group moves forward. Because if you have a bunch of the same personality types, there's no forward movement because either A, we're too scared to talk about it, and nobody's feelings are going to get hurt, and we're all just kumbayaing, doing the same thing over and over and over again, or we're going to, challenge the norm, up with some great ideas and move forward. So I think all the personalities are needed in that type of environment.
And before Raphael, before you finish it off and take the mic, I wanted to highlight something Nicole said about balance and moving forward. And this is something that when I'm coaching or when I have clients, the importance of balance. Like on a bike, you have to have balance to be able to move forward. Without balance, you're not going anywhere. So just to piggyback on what Nicole said and kind of give you just a little thought nugget to think about, like even in relationships, period, if there's no reciprocity, again, you know what you did. If there's no reciprocity, there's no movement forward, and you're just sitting there. So I definitely wanted to highlight what Nicole said on that, and then hand the mic to Raphael again and just say, if there's someone saying, hey, how can I use these to build relationships or interact with other people? What would be your suggestion?
Honestly, man, I think you just have to be able to assess situations and not really rely so much on what your interpretation of these labels are, these categories or whatnot. Like deal with situations individually and read people and know your limitations. Because like for me, I'm not gonna put myself in a relationship or a situation where I know that either I can't thrive or I'm not even willing to put in the work to make it successful. Like if you know that you're not going to put your all in or you're not going to be willing to give that situation whether it be your relationship with your girlfriend, boyfriend, spouse, or a work relationship, whatnot. Like just be honest with yourself, and because you can only fake it for so long, and don't be afraid to step back and let somebody else take control, because that's not, to me, that's not being submissive. That's identifying your weak points and allowing somebody else that may be a little bit more capable in that situation to take over and do something to make the whole team succeed. Like you don't always have to be the leader or the focal point.
Absolutely. Look at you. Look at you giving knowledge. What
That
is
growth, man, that growth.
what? What?
Where's the air horn? What's
Oh
up?
my
Yeah, I know.
god.
Give me some kind of
What?
sound effect. Because like back in the day, my ass would have been rah, 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 punch him, punch him, punch him. But
Yeah. He's
yeah,
not
no,
lying. He's not lying. Like I said, I
yeah.
have talked him out of many a fights. Like, come on. Look at me. It's like the Hulk in Black Widow. Look at me. Calm down.
uh,
Yeah.
I
Gotcha.
was the original Black Hole,
Gotcha.
huh?
Gotcha. Dang it. Shoot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Freaking 2.0. All right. So we will definitely have Raphael back if he doesn't ghost me for the next 2 to 3 years.
Oh
So
no,
we'll see
I'm
how.
charging from here on out.
Oh.
Yeah, no, just make sure you can afford me because
Nice.
I picked up on a few key things during this podcast. Own my own agency. I'm in control. I'm a boss. I'm a leader.
But
That
you,
means
but you've known that. You've
but
known
that means
all
the
those.
funds is looking all right. So
You
I will send over
crazy.
my invoice.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
But it's me. It's me.
Oh, you're gonna get the it's me
It's
discount.
me. Shut
Yeah.
up.
No, I'll make sure I include that.
Is this
Nice.
part of the if I know you, I'll do for you? Or...
Right. Thank you. Remind him, Nicole. Remind
Okay.
him.
Just had to check in real quick.
Well, no, because somebody else I wouldn't even consider it even for a price.
Oh,
I
whoa.
don't just sell
Whoa.
myself like that. Now, come on, no. But no, no, I got you, and
Just
thank you for letting me come on and kick it with y'all ladies. I enjoyed it, and thank you very much.
It's definitely laughs. Definitely. I knew it was gonna be laughs, but you had some serious jokes. So
No,
don't
no,
be
next
down with
time
the kids.
we gonna get a topic where I can really get into it,
Oh, I'm
cause
ready. Okay, let's do
yeah,
this.
yeah, no,
I'm
we
not scared.
I got something for that ass.
I'm
Yes.
suddenly scared. I just further.
No, don't be. You need to be there front row.
Nice. I'm ready. I'm ready. Oh, and Nicole, go ahead and tell everybody again how to connect with you and the big wonderful things you got going on with your consultant business.
Okay, mine once again. My name is Nicole, and I am an emotional intelligence coach. And I again help people with the communication so they can communicate in a manner that gets results. I You can find me at the Looking Glass podcast, and I'm going to have my website and information, Instagram, and all that good stuff up shortly. And I'll make the announcement on the Looking Glass on Instagram.
Awesome. We are so excited about that. So thank you all again for participating. I'm sorry you had to participate and hear some of the untruths coming out of Raphael's mouth, but you guys know me. Y'all know me.
Oh
So
no, there's much more to come. Don't even worry about it.
oh my God. So definitely check out the playlist that will be updated. You can find it on Spotify. You can find it on Apple Music. And check us out on Instagram. There's a lot of tomfoolery and shenanigans that go on over there too. So if you didn't see our lip sync battle, like you really missed out. You missed out. So hit us up over there as well and let us know what you think about behavior and personality types and what type do you identify with. I'm curious to know what my listeners kind of fall into. So again, you guys take care. You guys stay safe. You guys be well. We hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you're looking for more of us or to check out some additional content, make sure you visit our Instagram at The Looking Glass Podcast or visit our YouTube at Relationships Through the Looking Glass. And if you like tunes and music, we also have playlists set up on Apple Music and Spotify under the Rabbit Hole playlist. Take care, be well, speak with you soon.